Friday, everybody. It's Friday, June 4th, about 2 o'clock, and we're live here just to get this information out to our participants in the Kent Narrows Flying Light Tackle Tournament. My name is Dave Sikorsky, Executive Director of CCA Maryland. Last night, we had a great captain's meeting at Island Tackle Outfitters, our title sponsor for the tomorrow's 18th Annual Kent Narrows Flying Light Tackle Tournament. And so I mentioned last night that captain's meeting video, which if you're getting this through our email platform and ultimately getting the notification to watch this video, that second video from last night will be right next to this one. This is just the best way we found to get all the information out to you. And really, I'm repeating information that you've received in emails or listed in the rules or you've otherwise seen somewhere, and we're not changing much this year. So I wanted to go through this real quick, and of course had some technical difficulties getting everything online today. But ultimately, if you're looking at my screen right now, we couldn't do this without our great sponsors. So first and foremost, thank you to all of them. Thank you to all the participants. I think we're sitting right at about 115 anglers who will hit the water tomorrow, and I anticipate that number to go up with the great weather. I know fishing's been a little off, but what do we expect? We know the rockfish population's headed in the wrong direction and has been for quite some time. So make sure you check out all the different divisions. What I really want to talk to folks about right now is iAngler use and making sure that you're set up with your smartphone correctly. So ultimately, this is all spelled out in your registration email and on our sign-up website, but I want to just repeat it real quick. Step one, you register. You're going to get an email. That email is going to come to you, and if, let's say, you're one of those last-minute people joining the tournament, you have until line's end tomorrow to finalize everything electronically on your own. Most people have been able to do this, but I recognize that sometimes it's a little weird, and there's multiple steps, so that's what we're talking through. Step two, look for your registration email that you receive. It might end up in your junk mail. In that is a coupon code. So step three, go to the iAngler page. The link is in that email. Log into your iAngler account. This is a username and password, just like most web-based systems these days. And I know it's tough to keep track of all this stuff. So I can help you reset your password immediately. And we'll talk about my phone number and how you get in touch with me in a minute. It'll look like you want you to pay again. So you click at the bottom of the app, $50 pay USD. It should be a red bar. You don't have to pay again. Just click the button. Don't worry. Enter the coupon code on the next step. All right, so that's really as simple as I can make the sign up. And let me show you some visuals. Normally, I would show my phone live on the screen right now, but we can't do that because it seems like every cord I have doesn't want to connect to my computer. So on the left here is my home screen of my phone. iAngler Tournament, the blue logo you can find in your App Store or Google Play. I downloaded it, made sure I had the most updated version of it. And there's my username, David Sikorsky. I entered my password, and I hit the button to let me in. I'll give you one little tip here. You have to hit done on your keyboard so your keyboard goes away on your phone screen. Then make sure you're actually touching the let me in button. I do this every time because my computer keyboard pops up from the bottom like it does on an iPhone. I'm sorry, my iPhone keyboard. And I hit done. I never hit the done button. So I'm trying to touch the let me in button, and it doesn't let me do it. So learn from my mistake. The next screen is actually the actual tournament page. And so we've sent out some frequently asked question emails. I'm trying to answer all the questions we're getting. I will be as readily available as possible to answer your text messages tonight and through tomorrow. But ultimately, I want to run it down for you. So this is where you can find all the information. This is actually the app page. Okay. When the tournament goes live, one of the really important rules that you all should read is that you have to have a photo identifier. So you'll see an example of that in a minute. But as soon as that goes live tonight at 8 p.m., you're going to get an email. You're going to get a notification through the iAngler system. And you're going to see it posted right here on the screen. So the second you go into the tournament, which we'll show you in a second, it'll be right here. Obvious, right there where you need it. And I'll show you an example in a minute again. Here's a perfect example of a perfect picture. This is what you want to take a picture of that fish against the ruler. We can see the zero mark. We can see where the tail is pinched. We have the photo indicator on its hand. Again, that's the notice that's coming out tonight. That's the perfect picture. That's what you want to do and release these fish quickly. So when you log into the app, these are a little out of order, but when you log into the app right here, the next step will be to search for upcoming tournaments, okay? I'm going to try and pre-register absolutely everybody into the app today, but we'll see what happens. So you go to upcoming and just type Kent or CCA. You'll find the tournament. Click View, and then you would end up at this page right here, okay? So sorry about that. But ultimately, let's talk about logging your catch. This is what's most important. If you read the words on the screen, it simplifies it for you as best as possible. You really can't do any wrong. So catch your fish, lay it against the ruler, just like this. Take a picture of it. Don't worry about the app. Just take a picture. Take a bunch of pictures because you want to make sure it's in focus. Then when you go to the app, you just go to the From Gallery button. This is the first time you've used it. There's going to be a pop-up. It's going to say, let me have access to your photos or something like that. Yes, allow it. Hit the allow buttons. Ultimately, it's going to grab from your photos just like any other app or any other computer platform, or you can actually take the picture right here. If you take the picture right here, this will turn into your camera, and you can actually take a picture of the fish. All right, so your target here, you can change this. It could be rockfish, it says striper, perch, invasive species, okay? And so if whatever that fish is you're sending a picture of, select it. Place the number and the length here, okay? You don't have to give us location. It's not required in this tournament. But what you do have to look at here, I kind of covered up, is the division. By default, things come through in the light tackle division. It's okay if every fish you enter comes in the light tackle division, even if you're on a kayak. We'll see the kayak, we'll fix it. But ideally, you submit it accurately. So if you're on a kayak, submit it in kayak. And there's one little glitch here, or not glitch, but little nuance here for the lady anglers. We have a lady angler division because we absolutely, there's great prizes, and we want to sort the lady anglers, based on their input or their catches in a division. Well, they could also be on a kayak or fishing light tackle or on fly. So it's a little bit of confusing for that, where you kind of have multiple divisions overlapping. Bottom line is let the judges take care of that. Just submit your clear, readable picture, and we will be good to go and adjust that. And so I'll show you the judging platform in a second. But ultimately, once you finish hitting the done button here, you hit the submit button. A pop-up says, are you sure? Go for it. If there's an issue, just hang on to that picture. We will solve it throughout the day with you as judges. Here are the logs. This will tell you what's happened to some of your images. You definitely want to make sure we got them, but most importantly, you want to make sure we got them at the end of the night. And this is where you want to check before it lines out. At the end of the day, you really want to make sure all your pictures got in. They should be reflected on the leaderboard, and I'm going to show that next. It may not be perfect, and it may not rank the way you want. And that's just really because the divisions we create may not work perfectly with the system. But in the end, I'll show you in a second how the judging works. In fact, here we go. So just to refresh real quick, here's last year's tournament. Here's the results. And so that leaderboard is probably not the exact same as the built-in tournament leaderboard, and that's okay. This is what matters. It's official. Okay, and you'll see that from the judges. Here you go. The tournament identifier is % symbol. Here's my phone number. So all that's on the website, but it's directly reflected onto your app on your hand as well. So all you need right here for tomorrow is right here. Okay, and so I'm going to give you an example of let me see here. Okay, so this is last year's logging of catch. Let me zoom in a little bit. And so what you see, this is what the judges work with all day long, all these numbers and all these different divisions and stuff. So I'll just grab the top one and I'll show you what it looks like. This is what we see. Picture this rockfish, nose on 0. It's okay if the nose is negative, that you're not cheating, right? If your nose is positive, we're going to take those inches away. Okay, so we're going to try and make sure exactly what we're seeing, or the exact length of the fish is what we give you to the nearest 1/4 inch without rounding up. So this is the picture that was sent in. That was the photo identifier. And we get all sorts of different details like light tackle, straight bass, etc. We can compare your pictures to one another. So you might see us say something like, it's a duplicate, we reject it. You may see a little note. If the judges have to change anything in the judging, they will tell you through a little comment right here. It says admin comments. It requires us to let you know why we changed it. You get a notification on the water and we can sort that out. And this is just to make sure there's complete understanding and transparency of what's going on. We don't want folks, to think that, everything's unofficial until it's finalized is the bottom line. We want you to review everything. So also throughout the day, and again, this is last year, so we have all these records here. It's going to take a little bit to load up, but there is a leaderboard, and you can follow the leaderboard, and it is loading again right now. There you go. So it ranks people in different ways, and I haven't looked at this in quite some time, so I can't remember what's going on here. But ultimately, the length leaderboard is exactly what you want to look at. That's most important. We'll even put a link to that in the top of the tournament page. And ultimately, it ranks by length. And so Chase got the top fish last year. I know that. I think they had the 3-fish stringer right here in a row. Can't remember exactly. But ultimately, we sort all out as judges and then give it to you in this table right here. I think the rules say by Sunday. So, again, keep an eye on these leaderboards, but don't worry about it until the end. Just make sure your clear and readable picture is ranking somewhere. we'll make sure they're ranked based on division, based on all the different details. And also, you can see a picture of Chase's winning fish from last year right there. And I said this last night in the captain's meeting. The reason we use these plastic rulers, you can roll them up just like I did with this one. You can pick these up at Island Tackle. I just dropped off a new box at All Tackle last night. You can see the moldy and kind of brown image here. Realize that this image is a much lower resolution than what the judges are looking at, but and the judges look at something even much more lower resolution than what you take on your phone. So that's where text messaging and just transparency and conversation comes in to make sure your fish is exactly what you want. So ultimately, again, here is wrong page here. Here's this year's tournament. You're going to find that new information right at the top here, just like I described, and hopefully be able to take care of everything you need on the water tomorrow. Again, we have this 93 anglers is not correct. We're up to about 115 right now. I'm going to load everybody on, and just text message me if you're having trouble with your app. That's the bottom line and the default. And so there's a lot of questions that I'm standing by to answer via text message anytime, folks. So thank you very much for participating. Let me check the comments real quick. All right. Mike's going to sign up tonight. Good job. Thank you for joining us. Have fun out there on the water. Be safe. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. 443-621-9186. It's all over the place. And again, have fun out there, folks. Everything will come together tomorrow night at sunset, and we will announce the winners as soon as we can. So thank you to our sponsors, and thank you to participants. Have a great